All right, gamblers, degenerates, action junkies, welcome to the What Are the Odds Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm your host, Gusto Gill, with my co-host.
Sure, bet, Sean.
All right, episode 7, we're back. 2-1 weekend, great weekend, confetti. First of all, anytime you have a winning night, it's a blessing. Sure bet Sean, he won himself some money. I should have told this bet. I didn't tell his bet, unfortunately. But he did win y'all some money if you did tune in and you did follow Sure Bet Sean in his winning ways. Sean, you know what I realized? You only have one night where you were wrong.
Yeah.
And we're on this is episode 7 now?
7. Yeah, it's be episode 7 right now.
This is a crazy run you're on.
And, look, guys, I'm the same as you. I get anxiety watching these games, okay? Especially when I know money's on the line, right? So don't think it's just a situation where I'm just walking in here like, yeah, I got it. I'll be a billionaire if I just feel like I knew it all, right? But saying all that to say, I take the sure bets, I make the sure bets, and I win your money. So, hey, like I said, I have a little anxiety. Don't think I'm very much human, but trust me, I'm getting your money.
Man, and not only that, I think it's a combination of you going with your gut and you doing the proper research. You know what I'm saying? You're well informed with a lot of these fighters, a lot of these matchups that you're looking, again, like I always say, we're plus money here. We don't do that negative. Yeah. Anybody can get an easy bet, but Sean, you make the difficult bets, the plus money. That's where, we get people to tune in and really focus on what we're trying to do over here. So shout out to Sure Bet Sean. Another great week, another great weekend, another winning weekend for him. Now, before we move on to our hit or miss, subscribe to the podcast. What Are the Odds SGP on YouTube and Snapchat, our initials, Watto SGP. And not only that, we have also added Instagram. We've added TikTok. We've added Facebook to go along with the party. So we're on all platforms now, so you guys can find us on more than one platform. We're not just Snapchat, not just a one-trick pony. We're everywhere.
We're absolutely everywhere. And we need that. We need the growth. We need the volume to come in and kind of get into the algorithm. So we appreciate all the support that we get.
Absolutely. Thank you for the ones who tuned in last week as well. Now, for our hit or miss segment, again, 2-1 week. Last week, I got popped with the MLB, unfortunately, and we'll get into why in just a moment. Clarissa Shields was able to take care of Kay Scott early. As we said, the fight would end early, would not go the distance. And then, of course, Islam took care of Ian Gary with a win by points decision. So that finished our night off at 2-1. So a fantastic night for us in that department.
Absolutely. And it went, like you said, with the Islam Makhachev and Ian Gary fight. It was a nice little slugfest. They got at it. They actually didn't go to the ground as much as I thought they would. But he still got the unanimous decision, 49-46, 49-46, I think 48-47. So even though Ian Gary put up a good fight, we got the bet right. I said it would probably be a nice decision win, and that's what we end up getting. As far as Miss Clarissa Shields, the doubts that I had in that fight really more so came from, she was coming down in weight. She had been campaigning at heavyweight for the last few fights. So her coming back down to fight at middleweight, it could have been a little concerning, especially with her kind of being a person who only had 3 knockouts anyway. So she doesn't have concussive knockout power as is, even though she's coming down in weight. But as she's coming down in weight, I was looking at her and I was like, she doesn't necessarily look weaker. I was looking at her body. Her body still looked pretty strong. And I'm seeing her watching her spar and work out. And you can't see everything from the workouts, but she still looked pretty fast. So I'm like, you know what? The effects of dropping down in weight may not affect her the same as it may other fighters. And that's kind of how it looked in this fight. She still had her speed, and obviously she had pop because she got her out of there before 10 rounds. So, it was ended up being a good bet. It was a bet that we hit on, and shout out to those champions for making me look good.
Absolutely, and I think speaking of the fight, one thing that I noticed with Clarissa was that she was able to control the fight with her jab. She was very accurate. I don't know what the CompuBox stats were, but I'm pretty sure they were very well in her favor. As far as Kay Scott, I mean, Case got 42 years old.
Yeah.
I did not know that she was 42 years old. It just, it speaks volumes to how small the divisions are as far as, who the opponents are that are out there in women's boxing. But that's not the thing that caught my eye. The thing that caught my eye mostly was, I seen her come out with an OnlyFans shirt on. So I was like, initially I was like, wait, she got OnlyFans? So like, oh, and she's not bad looking.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. But then I also saw like, at the top of the screen, it was saying that, OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. So, that's a sponsor, for that fight in particular. So I just had to make sure, that I wasn't tripping, but I did go do my research to make sure that I wasn't, and for research purposes. It was nothing more, nothing further.
Yeah, he a little freaked out because he definitely went to go check and see if she had an OnlyFans page.
Only to support.
Absolutely, it was for support per se.
Yeah, only to support. Now, let's see, what do we have? Thanks for nothing. Oh man, and I don't have a lot of complaints on the 2-1 weekend, but we shoot for 3-0. We shoot for undefeated. Period. It might be 4 bets. We try to shoot for a perfect weekend, and unfortunately, that was not the case. I started to latch on to the team bet on the parlay option. The Atlanta Braves, unfortunately, did not come through. I thought it was going to be a pitching duel. Honestly, the way the game was going, it was 6-2 early.
Yeah.
So I think it was in the 4th inning when they already had 6-2, and I said, oh my God, this thing is over. I kind of gave up. I started to look towards the prop bets. Couldn't do that either. Kyle Schwarber, 0 for 4, 0 for 5. I don't remember what he was. He was 0 for. That's all that matters. So he let me down once again. So Kyle Schwarber, you're back in the doghouse. But back to this Atlanta Braves game, it goes all the way to the 9th inning.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, we still have hope. There's still hope there. And then Vargas steps up. He's 0 for 4. I'm like, okay, I'm not worried about him. He's 0 for 4. He's going to go 0 for 5. Yeah, and what do you know? He hits a home run, 2-run home run. It didn't matter if it was a 1-run home run. We couldn't afford any more runs. And he hits the home run, ending our bet. And I don't think they scored again after that. So tough loss. We would have went 3-0 if it wasn't for that, and I was just really, really disappointed. So if you did follow that bet, my apologies, but you were just as mad as I was because, nobody saw that coming.
And the Braves, at least this season, they have been known for having like an offensive firepower like that as a team. They got a couple guys who got a little pop, but as a team, they have been known to have that kind of offensive firepower. So it was just a good bet, 9.5 runs in a matchup, like you said, that should have been like a pitcher's duel. And one of the teams for sure doesn't have pop like that.
9.5 runs seems like a lot, but like you said, Nick, I guess it was because it didn't happen until the 9th inning. Even though they jumped out early in through the first 4 innings, with it being 6-2. Speaking of Mr. Schwarber, though, he's been consistently inconsistent, and yes, I understand that is an oxymoron, guys. But that's been him kind of all season. What I mean by that is he puts up big numbers and he puts them up in bunches, right? But he also goes very kind of quiet in bunches as well. And I think that's kind of been him all season. He has great numbers. He has 30-plus home runs. He has almost, I think, 90 RBIs or whatever the case may be.
No, he ain't got that many.
So who's he?
Harper got the most RBIs.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And so
he's just, he's a solo guy.
Yeah, he's a solo home run guy. Well, he does hit at the top of the order, so that makes sense. But he's been that guy all season, and but he's been hitting 244. He's hitting in the 240s all season, and like I said, batting average isn't what it used to be. Like from the 30s through the 90s, batting average is a big deal. You need to be trying to hit close to 300, above 270.
If he's batting 240, that's usually a 1 in 4 night.
Yeah, and
so that's closer to none. So I should have known better.
And I think guys are more worried about OPS more so than batting average nowadays. So with him hitting what he's hitting, it just kind of he had that awesome night on Thursday where he hits the 2 home runs, has the 7 RBIs, and I think 8 total bases, and then comes back on Saturday and does absolutely nothing.
Looking at pitches,
yeah,
striking out.
Yeah, and so that's kind of been
up.
It's kind of been his MO a lot this season, where he has these big games and maybe 1 or 2 games in a row where he'll just be amazing, and then he'll have 3 or 4 games where he may only get 1 or 2 hits. So it's just kind of been that kind of season for him. So I think you're smart to probably maybe step away from Kyle. for a week or two.
Man, forget step away from college. I'm stepping away from Major League Baseball. I can't take any more heartbreak, you guys. I'm going strictly UFC and boxing until the NFL season kicks off. Golden Nugget, I'll be there.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Okay, so now for our all-in straight bet. Speaking of boxing, we got Romero versus Teofimo Lopez Jr. in our main event. This is an interesting fight. You have Rolly, who's coming off an impressive win over Ryan Garcia, and you got Teofimo, who's coming off a underwhelming performance against Shakur Stevenson. You know, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Shakur's probably the best in the game right now. But, you know, it's an interesting fight. I think Teofimo is the favorite right now. And that which is interesting because it changed. It flipped on us because I believe last week Rolly was the favorite. So I don't know what changed, but they're saying Teofimo, Vegas. And so if Vegas is saying that, we probably need to lean in on that, you know, because that's usually how it goes. Now, there's room and there's opportunity for some money, for some upsets, of course. I like to look at what are the upsets, what are the odds of those upsets. We're the sports gambling podcast. So there's 3 bets because we think it's going to be a close fight. I honestly, I don't think Rolly's going to win. I always thought that Teofimo was the better boxer. So I was kind of shocked at them saying that Rolly was the favorite last week, but now they've come to grips with that. We got Teofimo so this is the exact method of how the fight's going to end. You find that tab. We got Teofimo for win by unanimous decision, not decision, I think if it's decision, I think that's minus money. We don't do minus money over here. Unanimous decision, plus 160, split decision, plus 600, and majority decision, plus 800. Again, for those who are not sure what majority decision means, that means that one of the judges is picking in a tie. So, Sean, you're the all-in GOAT, you know, the sure bet god right now. Which one do you like the most? Which one is going to be on the official pick for this week?
I'm gonna say more of the sure bets. Well, let me explain. So, Teofimo's the better boxer. He's the better fighter in this situation. He's he has Shakur Stevenson type ability and athleticism. He does, you know. Now they're not the same fighter. They're not the same level of discipline, and you saw that when they matched up against each other. But considering that he does have all these tools, you know, I think he's the obvious best bet here. Now, the things that Rolly does have in his favor is I think he's going to be the naturally bigger guy because, you know, Teofimo started at like 130 and 135.
Probably walk around that way too.
You know, and so, you know, I think Rolly's going to be a naturally bigger guy, and he's the naturally better puncher, even though Teofimo does have kind of explosive power, like the athletic power. But, you know, I think Rolly's going to be the heavy-handed fighter. So that's the obvious things that I think he has in his favor. But the sure bet here, not to be too long-winded, is to take the unanimous decision, Teofimo Lopez, what is it, plus 200?
Plus 160.
Plus 160. You know, that's the sure bet here. Now, the best bet,
You know, I'm always looking for the best.
you know, may be the split decision Teofimo, when that was what, plus
600.
plus 600. That may be the best bet. That's the one you'll get. That's the bang for your buck. And this is a fight. I'm tell you now, with Teofimo, as great as a fighter as he is and can be, he could get rattled. And like you kind of saw that in the George Kambosos fight. Kambosos connected with a shot early in the first round, and a round that Teofimo was winning. I feel like was dominating, but got caught. And then he kind of never found his way again the rest of the fight. And to some extent, over the last 4 years, he's still kind of been trying to find his way since that, you know, in a weird way. So, yes, if Rolly kind of could give him some issues early, you know, and maybe connect with some big shots, I could see this being a tough fight for Teofimo, and it going down the stretch and maybe it being a split decision with that plus 600. So that's probably the best bet as far as like the bang for your buck. But if you want your sure bet, take the unanimous decision, Teofimo.
I'm gonna go with Sean's pick as well. Listen, y'all, you saw what he did last week. I'm going with Sean on this for sure. But you know what? I want to talk about something. one thing I don't like is because like I actually like Rolly Romero. I actually think that he can win this fight. I actually was going to pick him based off how he looked against Ryan Garcia. But I'm going to say this. It started to become a narrative around Rolly Romero when we're starting to associate Rolly Romero with female fighter Clarissa Shields. Shout out to Clarissa for getting us that win last week.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that. But she has consistently taken shots at Rolly, saying that she can beat him, which I think is utterly ridiculous. Rolly has way more power. Obviously, he has skill, and most notably, he's a man. Yeah. So I don't see it. And she, again, she goes on all these podcasts, say what she says, and Rolly finally, because he normally takes a high road, he'll say, hey, no comment. He finally did not take the high road. He actually spoke about it. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
At this point, I just think Clarissa Shields has a crush on me. She is in love with me. I don't know why. I mean, I know why she's in love with me because I'm good looking, but like, I don't know why she, like with like the girls, like when you're on the playground, like they want to hit you. Oh, it's good, it's like that,
Okay, we can stop it there. I mean, he makes a fair point. I mean, there's an old adage that, if a girl likes you, she talks about you, she picks on you, she pushes you down, all these things. So he makes a fair point. I mean, that is kind of strange though. Like, and from what I know, she has a man, right? Isn't Pat Poose her man still? Mm-hmm. So if I'm Pat Poose, I'm feeling away. I'm like, why are you talking about this dude so much? Another man, you know what I'm saying? Like it sounds like you want attention from this man. I don't know if you're trying to boost your brand or what. Listen, if I'm Pat Poose, I got a problem with that. I know this has nothing to do with the bet, but I'm just saying, like, it's just something that just keeps striking my eyes. And I just don't want people to focus in on this Rolly Romero, because this is not going to be a thing. They're not going to fight. Clarissa Shields, she doesn't really have any competition in the sport, but there is a possibility she might fight a man, but she's not going to fight a Rolly Ramirez. She's not going to, Rolly Romero, and she's definitely not going to fight, what's the other guy that Pacquiao? Keith Thurman. She's not fighting him either. Both of them will dog you, so let's just be real about this.
I mean, a novice male boxer would dog Clarissa Shields.
Yeah, we seen it when she sparred with that dude. He was he like amateur?
Yeah, it's just and like I said, like he was kind of referring to in the video. Like I really don't. I think it takes away from female sports when they start getting into, we could beat guys, whether that be NBA, MMA, boxing, whatever the case may be, because it's just there are clear advantages that men have, and I think it's cool that it's a good way to maybe promote yourself, but I don't think he does a good job of promoting the sport, because at the end of the day, we know it's not a necessarily realistic thing. They even did that with Ronda Rousey for a little bit when they were saying that she could beat a man or whatever the case, and then all of a sudden Holly Holm kicks her in the head like a couple months after that, and she was never the same fighter. Yeah, right. So it's just like I think it's good. It's good banter for fans and good jargon for fans or whatever, but it does take the focus away from sport, because basically you're saying that nobody in your sport's good. When you always talking about you need to play men, or you need to fight men.
Disrespecting the sport.
Yeah, so it's just like, I think, keep it to the female boxers. You are what you are for a reason, and let's keep it there.
Yeah. All right. So that concludes our all-in straight bet segment. Sure bet Sean. Hopefully he'll bring that magic as well. Once again, now for our high-low segment, we got UFC. Now, I did my research on this, y'all. I feel really good about these bets. It's a little edgy, a little bit of a risk, but hey, I'm Gusto Gill, man. That's what I do. Okay, so we got Anthony Witt to win by a first-round knockout, and I'll get to the specifics. And also Larian Douglas, also first-round knockout. That's going to come out to a plus 945. Now, specifically talking about the Anthony Witt, it has to be a first-round knockout within the first minute. Now that means 59 seconds or less. It's a little edgy, but I do like it's a little. I do like that those odds against his opponent Terrence Chapman. Terrence Chapman, he's 5-1. He's coming off a first-round knockout. I watched his last fight, y'all. It wasn't impressive. He landed a lucky punch. I'm looking at his mechanics. He does a good job of using his leg kicks, but this guy Anthony Witt, y'all, he is a absolute beast. I'm talking about Sam. I think he's gonna be a star in the heavyweight division. He can do it all, y'all. He can punch, he can submit, he can take you down. He's a former football player. I think he has all the tools to be great, and not to mention his odds is a minus 1,600. That helps. So they're basically,
a lot, right?
Yeah, let you know they don't believe that Terrence has a chance, and I don't either. I think this fight is going to end in the first round. How soon in the first round is up to you. They do have an option where you can go the second minute if you don't think it's going to be the first minute. I personally think it's going to be the first minute. Anthony Witt's coming off a 34-second win in his last fight, and the guy looked more athletic than this guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? It looks way more athletic. So I'm like, this dude is kind of big and he's on the heavy side. I just don't know if he has the wind to move with Anthony Witt. I just don't. Now, Larry Douglas. He's a featherweight. Y'all, when I tell y'all this dude might have the stiffest jab I've ever seen, and I'm not just talking about weight class. This is a featherweight we're talking about. Put his last opponent on his ass off his first jab, the first jab he connected with. Shaw, you see it, you couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, it was like it's legit a bazooka jab. If you ever seen Ike Cortez from the late '90s jab, it was very similar where he's moving this guy with his jab. Your jab sets up your other punches. No, his jab like a power punch, and so
It's crazy.
It's kind of scary to think about actually, because when he does decide to throw the right hand, I mean, it's almost like he finally hit him with a right hand, and the jab looked worse than the right hand he caught him with. So it was pretty scary, man. So with that bazooka jab, first round KO, I wouldn't be surprised in the Larry Douglas fight. And also, we're talking about your Anthony Witt, Terrence Chapman fight. Look, it's gonna be a knockout.
First round.
No doubt. It's going to be for knockout.
Yeah.
And think about it, I can see it being a knockout on either side because Mr. Chapman has 5 wins.
What?
3 of them in the first round, and I think the other one was in the second round.
No, you don't believe that.
So I think he has a chance. Now, look, I know his odds.
Puncher's chance.
He has a puncher's chance. And that's why, look, if you want big money, he got a puncher's chance. But if you want the sure money, you definitely go with Mr. Win here. Now, I want to know if I'll go as far as Kevin says in the first 59 seconds of the first minute. But I would take the bet of this first round knockout.
I think it's minus money though.
So
That's how that lets you know too.
yeah. So
They don't think it's gonna go long.
it's not gonna go long, guys. Somebody's getting knocked out in the first round in that fight, so it's gonna be a lot of fireworks. Definitely checking it out because I think both of these fights are gonna be great. Just as a fan, but that one's gonna be explosive.
Yeah.
And I see both of them get caught with some big shots in the
first round.
In the first round.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think Mr. Win here. I mean, he has God body too. He looks like Achilles on steroids. So, so it's gonna be very interesting. I do take Mr. Win taking the win, but like I said, I got first round knockout. This guy here with the guts.
Now you can bet Went for a first round knockout and Larry Douglas for a first round knockout and still get plus money. So if you want to go the safe route, by all means. But me, I'm trying to get you that plus 945.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Larry Douglas, he is going against Jamal Emmers. Now, Jamal, the only thing with him, I watched this fight too. It's also very similar of Chapman to me. I feel like he's good, like he's serviceable, but it's something about him. I don't like his patience. I think that Larry Douglas is very patient. Like he's very calculated. His accuracy is off the charts. But Jamal, he kind of gets in there. He kind of gets reckless a little bit, throws punches he times him at the wrong time. I think his defense is suspect. I think he's susceptible to getting hit. I think, again, they got plus money. I mean, they got minus money for Larry Douglas, I think. I think it's minus 200 for a first round knockout. So you combine them, it's plus money for both guys. But I think that this fight is neither one of these fights are going past the first round, y'all. I think it ends quickly. And Larry Douglas, that jab, and Anthony Witt with that power, and couple that in with Terrence Chapman and his inability to get out the way, I don't see it, man. I think it goes quick. Listen, y'all. Sure bet Sean over here. I think I was gonna be sure bet Gil this week. Just trying to tell you.
And I might follow his lead on this one. It's gonna be, like I said, I'm a little sketchy about the first round knockout in the Mint fights, but in the Went fight, but you know, it's definitely gonna be a knockout in the first round though, for sure.
All right. Now for our final one, we got Can I Interest You In? Once again, we're going back to the favorites for the UFC. We got Dyer, Went, Jones, Carl Barbosa, not Leandro. Is it how you say it?
Leandro, no.
Leandro, not Leandro Barbosa, and Douglas, all to win money line. 6-leg parlay. It only comes out to a plus 218. That is very, very alarming for a fight to only end up at plus 218 for a 6-leg. So that means that tells you that they feel very confident that these guys are going to win this fight. Sean, can I interest you in this one? We passed on it last time. What about this time?
Even though my spidey senses are tingling in this situation, absolutely not. It's just, look, fellas, it's hard to go 6 for 6, especially with MMA. More so than boxing, it's so unpredictable. Like you just so many things can happen. So many guys get caught in bad positions. So many guys get caught with just a random leg kick, you know, where it shatters their leg. It's just so many variables in MMA where it's just hard to pick out 6 straight fights and they all go in your favor, even if they're all the favorites, because it just doesn't happen, guys. It doesn't happen very often. So I'm going to have to say no to this one, even though it is tempting. Like I said, my spidey senses are tingling a little bit, but no.
Now, see, I'm going to say no for a different reason. It's only plus 218. So even if I was going to be a cheapskate and be like, you know what, I'm going to bet 10 on that. That's only $21.
Yeah, it's only $21.
What am I doing? It's like, no, I'm not doing that. No, that's not enough. That's not enough for me. No, $21 will get you a tank of gas?
Yeah, not even that. They ain't get you a tank of
Will
gas.
that even get you? Will that even
fourth?
Yeah, right. Especially with these gas prices, will that even cover the Chili's tab for a triple dipper? I don't think so.
No.
So especially not if you Uber eating it or door dashing it. Absolutely not. Those fees will hit you. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. Now, episode 7. That's a wrap, you guys. We had a special weekend UFC and boxing combination again. Man, it's almost time for the NFL.
Can't wait.
So there are going to be more bets on the line, more prop bets for sure. So for you guys that like to use the Prize Picks and DraftKings Super 6, they will be available because I will be a touchdown picking machine for these prop bets. It's coming, y'all. Just wait on it. Golden Nugget, again, I'll be there. Can't wait. Can't wait for the, what is that?
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. What's 2 weeks, week and a half?
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there very close. All right. Episode 7. Sorry. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, like, all those good things. Thank you for the traffic. Thank you for YouTube finally breaking us through in the algorithm. I'm going to speak it into existence. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. It's coming for sure. All right. I'm Gusto Gill.
Sure bet, Sean.
We're out of here.